Let me start off with this. If you're feeling off track or exhausted, it doesn't make you broken. Most of us have been carrying responsibilities, expectations, and systemic pressures for so long that we've forgotten how to come up for air. So, of course, you might think something feels off because it is off. This isn't about blame, it's about maintenance. Even the strongest people start to drift when life is pulling them in so many directions. A reset isn't about fixing your life, it's about taking a moment to breathe, reset, and consider what direction you want your life to go in. Let's talk about how to do that. All right, everybody sort of knows that in tech, when something stops working, what's the first thing you do? You plug it out. For years in IT, this is a running joke. Have you tried restarting it? When was the last time you turned it off and turned it on again? And even at home, regularly with our computers, our phones, any of our tech, we get to the point where we say, when was the last time that I turned it off and started over again? I want you to think about this concept in your life. When was the last time that you did a reset in your life? Now, I'm in the second half of my life, so I consider this for myself to be a second half reset. It's true. What I'm talking about is designed for folks who are 50 or above or approaching their 50s, but this concept really applies at any part of your life where you've been working really hard towards something, grinding at something, and you need to take a step back and think about where you want to go next or what it is that you want out of your future. So for people like me who are in the second half, you've been parenting, working, grinding at your career, planning and supporting all of the people in your life. This builds up a lot mentally and emotionally of processes that are just running in the background all the time, taking up your ability to process information, your ability to do things. And eventually, just like high-end tech, we lag, we glitch, or we just don't seem to be running at optimum speed. It's really the same with us. I'm a car person, and a lot of the things that people think are major issues at the end of the day are maintenance issues. Oil never changed, so the engine's breaking down. The brakes need to be replaced, but they're supposed to be checked every so many kilometers or miles, depending on whether you're in the States or Canada. And repeatedly, people don't do the maintenance. And when things break down, they wonder why it happened. This works for us as well. Most of us live our lives the same way. We don't do the maintenance, and then we get surprised when things break completely and need to be replaced. Similarly, when you think about any kind of vehicle that takes a long trip, an airplane or a ship, you might believe that they take a trip in a straight direction. But the truth is that the wind and waves blow that plane or that ship off of its course, and they make a series of course corrections at certain points in the trip to make sure that they're going in the right direction. This is what we need to do in our lives as well. We need to take a look at where our life is going and think about how we want to continue or if we are actually going in the direction that we want to. A reset's not the same as rumination. Rumination is looking at your problems and just staring at them over and over again without thinking about what the root of them is or what you want to do differently in your life. This is not that. It's pausing long enough to ask the following questions, which you can do while you watch this video. You can actually pause and ask yourself the following questions. You ready? Who do I want to be in this next chapter? Take your time. Once you've figured out who you want to be, now think about what is the next step that you can actually take to become that person. Oftentimes we think about the big picture and we don't think about the next step and the next step and the next step. The best thing for most of my clients is to think about the next step and then work towards that and build some momentum. Sometimes it's hard to see what the fourth step is until you've taken the first three. Once you start moving, you find you're moving with purpose again. It's just generally how it works. Below, I'll be sharing an exercise called a life resume. I would suggest you take about 20 minutes and work your way through it. I also suggest you do it with another person if you can, and then trade notes. It's a really good exercise to get you thinking about what you want for the next part of your life. Yes, it's designed for people who are approaching or around their 50s, but this works for older folks too who are already retired. This works for younger folks who are asking questions about where they want to be in their life versus where they are right now. It is not a 5-year plan. This is something that you go through where you look at what your passions are, what your joys and desires are, and you start thinking about what you want to be in the next phase of your life. I'll also be putting it up a thread on my school community for you to talk to other people about what they found doing this exercise. And it's a good place to talk about this kind of stuff. So just a reminder, just like your tech needs a reset, your car needs maintenance, and a long journey requires course corrections, so do you. And you have to take the time to get what you actually want out of the journey. I hope this helps. Take care. Have a good day.